So next we have is labeling. So after filling the product in a suitable container, it should be labeled properly, as the label is the only link between the patient and pharmacist after the prescription has been delivered to the patient. So the label should be all necessary information that a patient requires. So a typical label has been given below, or a typical label should have contained serial number, date, name of the patient, age, sex, name of the prescriber, dose, and direction for use, warnings, and name and full address of pharmacy. So next is qualities of label. So a label should preferably be typed with clear letters, and a label should be elegant with respect to the shape, size, and color of the paper. And a label should be affixed with a strong adhesive, and a label should bear all information required for patient and pharmacist. And a label must bear certain warnings like shake well before use, store in a cool place, do not use after number of days, and keep tightly closed, and not for internal use and for external use only. Um, like for rectal use to be rubbed after application, etc. So a label should be an appropriate dose along with the direction for use. And lastly, a label is not complete if does not contain name of pharmacy and initials of the pharmacist. So in case of packaging, a properly labeled container is finally packed in a neat carton or a bag. So in case of powders, a good quality of envelope is used for final packing. Next is pricing, filling, and delivery of the prescription. So to calculate the price of the prescription, many factors are involved. So a pharmacist must be able to convince about the price of the prescription of to the patient. So factors involved to affect the prices are constant changes in the price of the ingredients, change in service charges, cost of containers and closures, and change in overhead expenses, variation in professional service charges and margin of profit. So a typical example is being illustrated for the calculation of price chargeable from the patient. So filing of prescription is an important to provide future services to the patient. So at present, pharmacists and government hospitals adopt this system in different ways. So the original prescription are not retained by the pharmacist. The patient is allowed to take the prescription with him. So the patient presents the same prescription second time on authorization by the physician with modification if any. So these prescriptions are recorded in the register having serial number, date of issue, name of patient and inscription, and this information help in finding out the all the prescription at the time of requirement, like some complications and legal need. So another method is to retain original prescription and return their photocopy or microfilm to the patient. So whatever may be the method, the aim of uh, filling the prescription is to record the bona fide information in the hospitals or pharmacies. So the last step is to deliver the prescription to the patient. So here the responsibility of a pharmacist is to make aware of the patient about the administration of the dose directly or indirectly. So in case of direct system, a pharmacist delivers a prescription by going himself to the patient and explain him the salient directions about the prescription. So this minimizes the possibilities of error in drug administration. So in case of indirect system, there is no dialogue between a pharmacist and a patient. So the delivery of prescription can be done at the window uh, and at the residence of the patient. So next is some calculation involved in the dispensing. So as you know, it is obvious that a pharmacist must have the knowledge of weights and measures before any calculation involved in dispensing. So generally, two systems are used by the pharmacist for the pharmaceutical calculation. First one is metric system and second one is common system. So the metric system of measures were formulated in France in the late 18th century. So this system is very much popular to handle any type of calculation. So this the meter is the unit of length and liter of volume and gram of weight. So subdivisions and multiple of these principal units are indicated respectively by the following prefix: pico, nano, micro, milli, centi, deci, deca, hecta, kilo, and myria. And case of measures of length: 1 kilometer, 1 hectometer, 1 decameter, 1 meter, 1 decimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 micrometer, and 1 nanometer. So next we have is common system. So this includes the wire deposits and the apothecary systems of measurement. So some physicians are still using the system of measuring volume and weight in their prescription. So the reason of adopting this system is to make prescription entirely non-understandable to the patient by using the various symbols of measuring units. So these particular types of system restrict the patient to do self-medication. So the prescription must strictly be handled by the pharmacist in order to dispense and to avoid any confusion with regard to administration of medication. So the pharmacist therefore must have the practical knowledge of the other common system of measurements. So next we have is modern methods of prescribing. So nowadays the majority of drugs are available in the market as ready-made formulation, manufacturing by different pharmaceutical companies. So the drug should be prescribed by its official name and not by its proprietary or trade name. So there are certain advantages and disadvantages of the prescribing the drugs by its proprietary name, which are as under. So it is easy to remember proprietary because they are very catchy and it is easy to communicate with the patient. So the continuity can be maintained by prescribing the same proprietary name every time, and the bioavailability of drugs change with the change of adjuvants used in drugs formulation manufactured by difference. So next is disadvantage. So so it is cheaper to prescribe the drug by its official name, and it becomes difficult for pharmacists to dispense the substitute of drug which is available in the stock. So there are four types of prescriptions which are generally received by the tail drug. So first one is prescription in general practice. Second one is private prescription. Third one is hospital prescription meant for outpatient. Fourth one is hospital prescription meant for inpatient. So care required in dispensing prescription is following precautions should be taken while dispensing a prescription. First one is always keep the prescription before you take the prescription with you while taking out the medicine from the shelf. So it will serve as a constant reminder of the name and strength of the preparation required and helps to avoid mistakes. And always check the dispensing balance before weighing the ingredients which are required and help to avoid mistakes. So always replace containers of stock preparation or drugs in their proper position after use. So keep the label in upper position during weighing solid ingredients, especially the potted drugs such as morphine hydrochloride, to serve as a constant reminder that the correct drug is being used. So when pouring or measuring the liquid ingredients, keep the label upward in order to prevent surplus running down of the bottle and staining the label. So care should be taken to keep the dispensing balance clean, and the powder should be transferred from the stock container by using a clean spatula. So the scale pan should be cleaned immediately after use, and medicines which are used externally such as lotions, liniments, paints, etc. should be supplied in vertically fluted or fibbed bottles in order to distinguish it by a touch. So they must be labeled. So they must be labeled in red or against a red background. So before handling over the medicine to the patient, again check that the correct preparation in the correct strength has been supplied and correct direction has been stated on the label. So sources of error in perception, first one is abbreviation. So the abbreviation present a problem in understanding parts of the prescription order. So extreme care should be taken by a pharmacist in interpreting the abbreviation. So the pharmacist should not guess at the meaning of ambiguous abbreviation. Next is name of the drug. So there are certain drugs whose name look or sound like those of other drugs. Some of the example of such drugs is under digitoxin and digoxin. And strength of preparation. So in case of strength of the preparation should be stated by the prescriber. So it is essential when various strengths of products are available in the market. So dosage form of the drug prescribed. So many medicines are available in more than one dosage form like liquid, tablet, capsules, etc. And in case of dose, unusually high or low doses should be discussed with the prescriber. And pediatric doses may be present. So pharmacists should consult pediatric pathology to avoid an error. And sometimes a reasonable dose is administered too frequently. So next is instruction for the patient. So the instruction for the patient which are given in prescription are incomplete or omitted, and the quantity of the drug to be taken, the frequent and timing of administration and route of administration should be clearly given in the prescription so as to avoid any confusion. So next is incompatibility. So it is essential to check that there are no pharmaceutical or therapeutic incompatibilities in a prescribed preparation, and that different medicines prescribed for the same patient do not interact with each other to produce any harm to patient. So certain antibiotics should not be given with meals since it significantly decreases the absorption of the drug. So students, that is all for the day. Thank you.